Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. It's time for the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, known as the USCCB, to be totally rethought, if not actually reworked or simply done away with and begun anew. Why this drastic suggestion? Because it seems as though the inmates are running the asylum when it comes to the goings-on at the USCCB. Story after story out there keeps coming out, and each one is more and more ridiculous. There are film reviews praising morally objectionable movies, election guides that make no sense when it comes to voting like a Catholic, statements hundreds of pages long supporting causes associated with the left-wing elites in America, statements about pro-life concerns that are woefully inadequate on many levels. There is the infighting over all things Obama, with most bishops either siding with the greatest child killer in history or remaining mute on his actions, like the shameful scandal at Notre Dame or his abomination of a health care plan. Then there is, of course, the sordid recent past of predatory homosexual priests and the cover-up on the part of so many of these bishops. And last year, we learned that the bishops were okaying money, millions and millions of dollars. Your money, my money, that we throw into the collection plate, being given over to ACORN, the community organizing group recently exposed for corruption and support of immoral activity like prostitution. This has been going on for years. And now the latest bombshell, an independent investigation revealing that the Campaign for Human Development, another one of those liberal social justice organizations that unfaithful Catholics love to support, has been giving away your collection plate money to liberal groups, left-wing groups that support homosexual marriage, abortion, prostitution, you name it. The Campaign for Human Development is, you guessed it, an office under the control of the USCCB. This craziness and unfaithfulness has got to stop. But see, here's the problem. The USCCB was founded back in 1966, remember those crazy days, under a different name. So for the past 45 years, roughly, this has been the bureaucracy that has run church affairs in America. It was immediately overrun by liberal, very liberal bishops and very liberal Catholic lay people foaming at the mouth to remake the church into their own vision of what church really means. Well, they've certainly done that. In the past 45 years, they have overseen the virtual dismantling of all things Catholic. The bishops have presided over one of the most noteworthy apostasies in the 2,000-year history of the church. 75% of Catholics don't set foot in a church. Most that do know next to nothing about the faith. The priesthood has been riddled with scandal by homosexual priests on the prowl for teenage boys, and these priests were promoted and protected by these bishops, many of whom, the bishops, have not escaped the tarnish of homosexual predation themselves. In fact, as the USCCB has been looked at more and more closely in recent years, some doing the looking have expressed shock at the prospect that some of the abuse of young boys and men by homosexual clergy was actually at the hands of some of these bishops in their younger years, and in some cases continuing into their roles as bishops. When a moral teaching of the church, particularly in the area of sexual morality, needed announcing, preaching, or clarification, the Bishops' Conference response is almost always weak and ridiculously nuanced. But when a pet project of the liberal establishment comes down the pike like environmentalism, you'd think from the bishop's response and press releases that Jesus was on his way back. The USCCB has proven to be a haven for left-wing ideologues, an organization that makes excuses for sin, covers up scandal after scandal, and then blames lawyers and psychologists for giving them bad advice. This organization doles out millions and millions of dollars to corrupt liberal organizations that work against church teaching, and it has reshaped the church into America into a pitiful collection of dioceses watching tens of millions leave the church for false religions or no religion at all. History has already pronounced its verdict on the Bishops' Conference. Scrap it and start over with the few faithful bishops who have the guts to say it like it is. Start over, that is, if there's any money left to do so after the bankruptcies, the homosexual abuse payouts, the corruption, and the payola to liberal groups that elected a president intent on crushing faithful Catholics. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.